Hello, welcome to my photo studio and to ProPhotoLife.com. For our first setup, we're going to take advantage of this beautiful location. If you start with a beautiful location, it's hard to do wrong. A couple of things that are working really well for us is the sun is low in the sky, it's morning, it's best to shoot in the morning or late afternoon so that you get a nice angle on the sun. We also have great depth between where we're standing right now and the background, so I'm sure that the background's going to fall way out of focus. So let's go ahead and get started with our first setup. Shannon, you can come on in and go ahead and lean back there just as you were. I think that's great. So with Shannon in place, one of the first things I notice when posing her is her hair's parted on the side. I'm going to turn her face slightly to the left so that we get a good clear view of her face. Okay, so Shannon, if you want to go ahead and face just a little bit that way and a nice smile right at me. Good, that's great. I'll look here. So with the very first photograph, I've just set the camera on aperture priority automatic. I let it do its thing, I'm being honest, and the light looks absolutely beautiful. We got a great exposure because the tones are very consistent throughout the photograph except for that beautiful edge lighting that we have with the backlight. Now I've noticed that a lot of the light on our subject's face is being reflected from the floor here. Now generally speaking, we don't want the light to come from below. Though it's subtle, I can detect it. Generally speaking, we want the light to come from above or off to the side. And so the way that we're going to deal with that is we're going to use a large white reflector. Now I have to place the reflector in a position where it's actually grabbing the light. Just setting a reflector close to the model is not going to get it done. We have to make sure that it's in full light, reflecting back. So doing that, let's take a look at what we get with this photograph. Okay, and just the same way, very good. Good. And the difference to me is very obvious. We now have a much more flattering direction to the light. So that's just a little addition that's going to make the photograph that much better. Now we're going to take it a step further, something you may or may not want to do. We're actually going to use a strobe light with a softbox to create more of a studio type lighting in this outdoor setup. And the very last thing I want to use is our Travelite battery pack with our Travelite strobe and softbox in this position. It's at a 45 degree Rembrandt lighting position that we saw in our One Light portrait video. Okay, Shannon, one more time. Very good. And move your hands out just a little bit further. That's great. And here we go with one more. So there we have three variations on this portrait. I think they all look beautiful. They're all very acceptable. The very first one we did without any additional reflector. By adding the white reflector, I feel we got a little bit more direction to the light. It's a little bit more flattering in my opinion. And then lastly, we added a strobe light so that we brought studio quality lighting to this natural outdoor portrait. We took advantage of the natural backlighting we're given, and then adding that studio light created a beautiful main light for us. Just out of curiosity, I've moved around to the side, and I really like the way that these columns look. Anytime you can incorporate foreground elements and background elements and use shallow depth of field to make them go out of focus, you can create a greater feeling of depth to the photograph. Okay, good, nice smile. You'll also notice I've moved in the white reflector to create some direction to the light. Today we've created two very nice portraits in the same location with some variations on lighting thrown in. In the very next episode, we'll be looking at posing and other considerations for creating a beautiful outdoor portrait. To see the still images created during this video, please visit ProPhotoLife.com, do a search for video episode 25, and there you'll find a link to the gallery of still images. As always, I hope this video has been a help, and I hope to see you next time here on ProPhotoLife.com.